even 70-year-olds who start lifting weights can double their leg strength in just 3 months. Let that sink in for a minute. Double their strength. Yet so many people think the gym is just for the 20 or 30 somethings that are flexing in the mirror. You know what I'm talking about, right? But here's the truth. If you think getting older means slowing down, getting weaker, and your best years are behind you, stay right there. We are completely shredding 7 common fitness myths that are keeping people in their 50s and beyond from living their best life today. Thank you for joining me today. My name is BJ Brahmachari. I'm in my mid-50s and I'm a natural professional bodybuilder. And today we're going to break down 7 fitness myths. So let's get right into it. This one's a classic, and really it's one of the most destructive misconceptions out there. You know, people picture somebody that's in their 50s or beyond and they're having a hard time moving weights around at the gym and they're getting injured and nothing could be farther from the truth, because resistance training actually will have the opposite effect. When done correctly, strength training is not dangerous, it's protective. A massive 2022 meta-analysis in the Journal of Aging found that supervised resistance training reduces risk of falls by 34%. Now that's huge, but here's the other part. It also helps with arthritis and building stronger bones. The key is to start smart. So what does that mean? We've talked about this a lot, but it means start with a weight that's appropriate for you. Make sure you understand what good form is. You know, the days of ego lifting, bye-bye. If you don't know what that is, you're in a good position too. It just means we want to use a weight that works for us, that we don't lose form or cheat when we do that exercise, and that then we're going to maintain that throughout that set. We're going to choose exercises that work for our body. Frankly, there are some exercises that I don't do anymore in my 50s just because it's too hard on my body. Now, here's the other part of it. Don't go into it thinking like I have to be this massive power lifter where I'm trying to get stronger and stronger. Yes, we want to get stronger. We've talked about progressive resistance. However, this is, unless you're trying to go to a powerlifting contest, your goal here is to get progressively better every time that you work out. So we do that by maintaining good form. We do that by increasing our reps maybe every time we go, or the weight that we train with. Now this one is a good one. And let me tell you, in general, I've heard people say, well, I don't want to look like, those bodybuilders that I see. Now, they're usually talking about somebody that's not a natural bodybuilder. But first of all, you're not going to end up looking like that. Okay, that's a simple one. Even if you want to train naturally to compete in a bodybuilding competition like I do, it takes a whole different level of effort and intensity and training and commitment to nutrition and diet than most people are realistically prepared to do. So you don't have to go into it thinking, wow, gee, that's something that could happen. I could end up looking, like a big bodybuilder. No, that's not going to happen. See, after 50, our hormone levels, they naturally decline. Now, we've talked about doing things to reverse that process, and there's episodes we've done on that. However, we just need to understand that it's different for us when it comes to adding muscle in our 50s than it was in our 20s or 30s. So here's what really happens when you get going back to the gym. You begin to add muscle and you begin to rebuild lean muscle over time. Your waistline will shrink because muscle takes up less space than fat. Your metabolism speeds up even at rest because muscle is metabolically active, so it burns more calories at rest. So what's the result of all of this? Well, it's going to get easier for you to carry groceries. How about playing with your grandkids? This is one we talk about all the time, being available and being there for your family. So that's a real simple one, but think of it this way. It's more about, here's a good one. I love comic book movies, but it's more like tank tops and good arms as opposed to Hulk smash, right? When we're talking about how we're going to end up adding muscle as we work out. This one's another good one, but I gotta say that consistency and a proper program and nutrition plan and everything else absolutely trumps age. And I'll use myself as an example here, that I didn't start competitive bodybuilding, naturally of course, but I didn't start that until I was 50. And it took really dialing in a whole bunch of things and focusing on training and nutrition and rest and recovery and all those things for this to go somewhere for me in my 50s. Now, here's something else to add to that. Harvard research confirmed it and found that even people in their 80s and 90s can build real strength, balance, and independence. If you will go and put in the time and the effort at the gym, your body will respond. And I think you'll be surprised at how quickly you'll start to see those results. All right, quick pause here. I want to hear from you. If any of these myths have been living rent-free in your head, put in the comments myth busted, and maybe put in the comments what that myth is, because you might think, gee, that's just me, but here's the thing. It might help somebody else or encourage somebody else to live their best life in their 50s or 60s or beyond. So if you're also getting some value out of this and you think you're going to get more value as we go forward with more episodes, please take a minute and like the channel, subscribe to the channel and like the video. And let's get right into number 4. Now, this one is well-meaning, but it is absolutely wrong. There's a lot of people who go to the gym and work out and wonder, why are they not seeing any gains? Why are they not seeing things change? And a lot of times it comes back to training intensity. What is the intensity that you are exercising at the gym? And really, we could say it this way. When you do a set, at the end of that set, are you just like 2 or 3 reps left and that's it? Or did you just kind of, You know, that's the whole part about intensity. Your body needs your intensity and engagement, and it will respond. So when we go to the gym, we need to be pushing to that 2 to 3 reps in reserve when we're doing the work sets for the exercises. Remember, your heart, lungs, and brain thrive when they're challenged. So when you go to the gym, again, with proper form, maintaining appropriate weight, and knowing what you're doing for the exercises, engage that intensity. This one hits deep. Society tells us that with aging comes decline, but it's not inevitable. A lot of what we call aging happens from lack of use and lack of care. Weakness, stiffness, poor balance, they're often results of sitting too much, not just getting older. So that's the power of exercise. It doesn't slow us down, it gets us moving. And if we're talking about 70 and 80-year-olds that are seeing these positive results, how much more so can you, if you're in your 50s and thinking, gee, should I be doing this? Chuck that myth out the window and let's go. Now, this is an interesting one because I personally like going to the gym. I've always liked going to the gym. I like the environment at the gym. I like, the choice of exercises and all those things. However, it's not necessary for you to have a gym membership in order to do resistance training. All it takes are some dumbbells. You can even use your body weight and you can do squats and push-ups and things like that. You can do those in your home. You can do those in your front yard, your backyard, wherever it is. But if you make a commitment and say, no, I'm going to do this, you'll see the results, and you don't have to go to the gym to get all the results. Now, you can, and like I said, I love going to the gym. I'm a big proponent of going to the gym. But whatever it takes for you, you can do it at home. You can do it at breaks, you can even do some stairs at work. I know maybe not the greatest as far as, getting sweaty and stuff, but there are all sorts of different ways that you can engage physical exercise and resistance training that doesn't require you to go to the gym or get a gym membership. Now, this one's one that really hits home for me, because when I see somebody at the gym and they're, working it, they're not in great shape, I have a lot of respect for them, because they're putting in the time and the effort to change their bodies, and they know that their lives are going to change, and they're in it for the long haul. So it doesn't matter where you're at. Maybe you're fit, great. You should go and have some regular exercise as well. Maybe you're not fit, great. Go and engage that regular exercise. But there's no group of people that we can say, well, it's not for this group or it's not for that group. It's for everybody. And we all need to be doing some kind of resistance training weekly for our muscles to grow. And a lot of what we call muscle loss from aging, we can reverse it by simply doing resistance training 30 minutes, 3 times a week or more, but that's just a base minimum. One of the things I like about strength training also is it's not just physical, it's mental. It's understanding that I can do this and my body can change, and it's understanding that I have some grit now, that I can push through where I thought I could only get this far. Now I can push through a little bit further. So you'll get a lot of gains mentally, emotionally, and just stability-wise that way also. Hey, the best anti-aging pill that's out there is not at the pharmacy. It's at the gym. It's you and I going consistently, building a lifestyle of resistance training, building a lifestyle of proper nutrition, building a lifestyle of proper cardio, and our bodies will respond. I just want to thank you for joining me today. If you got some value out of this, please subscribe to the channel. Take a minute and give us a like for the video, and let anybody else know that you think would get some value out of this about our channel and about what we're doing. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time.